Well, what are the implications? If you believe in a rapture where we're going to escape, what are the implications? If you believe that the world is not going to get better, you're pessimistic, right? That's kind of your outlook. I'm a pessimist. It's going to get worse. I'm not surprised, when global giants decide to rock the world. We're pessimists. So it's expected. That's the idea, right? So implications. What do you guys think? Implications with your pessimistic views.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have a pessimistic view of the future from what I see and what's happening right now. I mean, I just see things getting worse and
Right.
worse and worse. I don't see things getting better. I'm under the assumption that they have to get worse in order for Jesus to come. So I'm like, all right, let's just go. Let's just
Right.
end
Let's
it
just
already.
keep on sinning.
Well, no,
I mean,
Stop.
not like keep
Wow.
on sinning, but to there is a lifestyle choice, I guess. You know, I guess it depends what stage of life you're in, right? Like, for example, my parents, they're old, they're sick, they're like, they just want to die, and just go go to heaven. They're just like,
just
and
tell
when
me
I talk
wait
to
for the
them about it,
rapture.
right? But it's funny because they have that Pentecostal view that
Mm.
that the rapture is coming, and they're just but in their mind they're like, well, we're gonna die. We're probably gonna die before it happens, or we get taken up. They don't even care. But that sense of like,
Apathy. I'm over it.
yeah, right,
Yep.
right, it's kind of bad,
Mm.
I would say. I mean, I think it's wrong. And I've had that view at times, even where I'm like, well, things are getting worse, so like, why even try? Like, I think Ben and I have had this conversation like a year ago as we saw things are going. I'm like, it's all going to stuff anyway. So like,
Stuff in
Hey,
a
all I
handbasket.
gotta say is I appreciate you holding your tongue over there, Dennis. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. It will not happen all the
when
time.
when
But I
stuff
just
hits
started
the
with the
fan.
whiskey, so
So let,
Nice.
I'm going to chime in real here. I find it really interesting that Paul tells the Thessalonians in First Thessalonians 5, hey, these things are going to come. The end is coming. The day is coming like a thief in the night. You know these things. But then he says, but you, my brothers and sisters, you guys are not in the dark. You guys should live like you're in the light. So you should have some
Mm.
information. And Jesus alluded to that when he talks about how a thief comes to rob in the night. He says, if the owner of the house knew when the thief was coming, he wouldn't go to sleep. He'd be on guard. He'd be ready. So
Mm.
I think that, are we going to hash out exactly what Revelation means? Probably not. Should we stay ignorant to it because we don't understand it? Absolutely not. That's laziness, because Paul says we're not of the darkness. We have the light. We should know some of these things are happening. And Jesus says, if you're wise, you'll be able to recognize the signs of the times. Do we know
Mm.
exactly what's going to happen? No. Should we study to show ourselves approved unto God? A workman who's not ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth and understanding what seasons we're living in. Absolutely, it's our responsibility.
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
point.
I'll give you
Great
yeah,
point.
yeah, I'll give you a personal example. So I left California because I don't think it's gonna get better, and I live in Idaho, and I want to go into the forest and start a compound and get away from everybody because I don't think
Coming,
it's gonna
brother.
get better. Hey, you're invited. I don't know about these other two.
Hey, bro,
Hey.
starting a podcast is not the way to go off the grid.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've already thought about that. So what I'm going to do is once a week, I'm going to come down and go to a PC cafe where I'm going to record my sessions, and then I'm going to go back into the hills.
I like it.
So I already thought about that. But anyway, then I would talk to friends and be like, dude, what are you guys doing? Like, get out of there. That place sucks, right? It's getting worse. Like, you got kids, you got a wife, you see where things are going. It's like the Jews that got out of Germany way before Hitler and all those guys took over, right? And it's like, how do you not have the foresight to avoid those kinds of things when they come? Because we know they're coming, and all of them are like, oh yeah, I believe you. I think it's coming. And more often than not, people's response would be, oh, well, I don't care because I'm not going to be here for that because I'm going to get raptured. And I'm like, oh, like the light bulb went off. finally I'm like, oh my God, people are actually, they're not taking proper steps to ensure their, I don't know, family's safety and longevity in case there isn't a rapture, because they don't think they're going to be here. So that's a very
Right.
practical implication of what Revelation will do to your life,
Well,
you know, to
I
your
think
family's life.
I think to be fair, I don't know if Revelation does that to you. I think
Oh,
it's
Ellie, where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in paradise, Southern
California?
California, the greatest place on the
Huh,
planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm
He canvasses
optimistic,
for
man.
Dude,
Newsom.
that's great.
No,
That's
but
great. No, very cool. Yeah.
By paradise he means he lives next to homeless cities.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I live like a king out here. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
no, I think it's I don't know if it's revelation per se, right? I think it's a misunderstanding on the call of God's people in this world. Not so much revelation, because even if the rapture was going to happen tomorrow, what do? Oh, I'm going to chill. I'm going to kind of read Revelation now and see how I'm going to get sucked up, right? No, what you do, it's like I got one more day. Oh man, do my neighbors know about Jesus? Do these people know about Jesus? Because if tomorrow's it, how much more adamant should we be about getting the gospel out? And then
Totally.
the other extreme is like, oh, he ain't coming for 1,000 years. I'll let someone else get to my neighbors, right? It's like,
Forest.
so it really
Yeah,
depends.
that's a great point, man.
If you have the pessimistic mentality, like, hey, the world's going to get bad anyways, and I think what it does is you see a lot of truths and you let it be. You have such a misunderstanding on these. You don't really know its implications, so you get the lazy, apathetic lifestyle, and you're not doing what God called you. For Ephesians chapter
Mhm.
4. Therefore, in view of all these things, and what I just said in the first 3 chapters of Ephesians, in view of all these things, walk in a manner worthy of the calling. Now, the last 3 chapters of Ephesians is all about your lifestyle. The calling is be a good parent, be a good father, be a good husband, be a good coworker, be a good this, be a good this, be a good this. And it's about a lifestyle every day that you're living, that we're called to constantly, consistently. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter if the Lord's coming tomorrow or 10,000 years from now. We're not called to stop living unworthy lives, right? And that's where we get in trouble. And the implication is then what do we do as Christians on this planet? Is it just to do the day-to-day task? Well, this gets into the divine counsel conversation.
Mm.
Why did Christ save his church? And what is
Oh, thank God his mic cut out again.
No, this is so important. This is so good.
No.
Why did Christ save his
He's just
church?
jealous that he's not in the forest.
No, you know what? I think that's an amazing, excellent point. And I wanted to point out, like, we all of us know we're gonna die, right? Why are we not quitting on life today?
Hmm.
You know, it's like
Matrix. The Matrix,
no,
bro.
well, no, it's not the Matrix. We know eventually we're gonna kick the bucket. Why don't we just
Right.
say, well, I'm gonna die in 30 years from now. What's the point of doing something today? And
Right.
that's how and to Ellie's point, the book of Revelation doesn't do this to you. It's your own personal uh, let me say character, I guess is the best I can say, is that the way you handle all other scripture and how you respond to even the gospel message is how you're going to respond to your own interpretation of Revelation. So it's going to carry through. People that are nonchalant about their relationship with God are going to use that to interpret Revelation and continue that life. People that are on fire for Christ are going to be like, man, this is going to end. I got to tell my neighbors, my friends, my family.
Right.
I'm going to pray for people. So, you know, we know the end is coming. Why don't we quit today? That's silly.
Yeah, and remember, the book of Revelation was written as an encouragement. Jesus Christ received a vision from God himself to give to the church as an encouragement, not of now, so you guys can get sad and depressed and be like, oh, woe is us. It's like, no, here's an encouragement. I am exalted to the highest thrones, chapter 1. I reign over all things, chapter 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the scroll. I'm going to carry out judgment and I'm going to come back in victory and destroy the work of the devil and death, and we will be forever. Amen. That's revelation. Like, now the details in between, it's like, okay, we can go to nuances, but that's all Jesus is trying to get at. Like, guys, I'm exalted to the highest heavens.
Yeah.
What do you guys got to worry about? Right. So we got to keep that perspective, I think, when we're looking into these difficult passages, that Christ still reigns, currently reigns, you know, and he's the king.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to be mindful of that too.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Right,
So
that's a
just-
wrap on the book of Revelation.
Yeah, I think we're
Well,
good. You
that's
just said
that.
everything.
Let's move on.